Hey everybody, it's your local neighborhood noodle. How are you doing? Well, I'm here to teach some math, so this would be good for students who are about, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, ninth grade. Anybody would be good for, actually. If you like math, you're in the right place. Let me have a little water. Now get yourself settled up. Get a piece of paper, maybe a pencil or a pen, so you can follow along. I want you to be able to do the math, so I want you to write it out while I'm doing it too. Oh, that's better. Let's try today's topic, which is long division. All right. Now, long division is a little bit complicated. It's got lots of steps, multi-stepped math problems. Before this time, you might have been able to figure out stuff in your head, or you might have been able to remember stuff just by memory, but with long division, we're looking at the process. Process is more important than the answer, really, in this stage of math. So let's look at the process and see what we're doing. I picked a number, 1,256, and let's divide that by 8, right? Okay, I'm going to show you the old school method of how to do this. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about what's really happening with it. Okay, when you see it written like this, you can rewrite it and put the number that's being divided underneath this. Let's say 8 adventurers dig up some treasure and they find 1,256 pieces of gold. Well, how much gold does each person get? That's called division, right? You could sit there and go, 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for you, but it sure would take you a long time. This might not take that long. Let's try it. Okay. The way to do it is to break it down into small pieces. We're going to look at the digits. Let's look at this number here. First, I want to know if I can divide this first digit by 8. Can I do that easily? No. 1 divided by 8? No. That's hard to do. So I am going to leave this space here blank. The space that's right on top of the 1, I'm going to leave it blank, because it's not easy to divide 1 by 8 without using a fraction or something like that. Let's look at the next number. Moving the digits along like this, I see 12. Can 8 go into 12? Yes. Can 12 be divided by 8? Yes. 1 time. So where do I put that 1? Well, see, I put that right on top of the 12. Like that. Now, I don't need this anymore. This was just to keep it open. Keep a space there. I want to make sure that the 1 is right on top of that, on that 2 there, see? Because this is what I'm looking at, that 12, right? Does that make sense? Now I go 1 times 8. Well, that's 8. Right? Well, let's look at the place values here for a second. See how many places there are? If I was going to put zeros here, that would be 100. Well, that makes sense, right? So I'm saying that if I had 1,256 gold coins, and I was going to divide that among 8 people, each person would get at least 100, right? Yeah, that's right, because 100 times 8 is 800. Easy, right? Good. I take the number here, I multiply it by this number, that factor, and then I put the answer here. But I'm not done yet, so I have to find that difference. Finding a difference means subtracting. Now I bring down 6 take away 0 is 6, 5 take away 0 is 5, and 12, this whole thing, take away 8. Do you know the answer? That's 4. It's a good idea to memorize your times tables about right now. You can play a game with maybe your family member to see who knows their times tables. Yeah. I learned that with my grandmother when I was really small. Okay. Next, we're going to look at 8 going into 456, or I could say 456 divided by 8. Well, see, I already used 1 for 800 here. I used the 100 to multiply it and get this 800. So I have to make something smaller than 100. I look at the first digit. Yep, I can't do it. I move over to the next digit, 45. How many times can 8 go into 45? Well, if you know your times tables, you know the answer is 5. Because 5, I'm going to put it right in line with that 45. 5 times 8 is 40. And I put the 40 down here. Right? You want to make sure it's all lined up. That's the best way to keep track of it. Now, 45 take away 40 is 5. And see, I just bring down the difference. Oh, let's look at this. That would be a 10 here, right? 50. 50 times 8. Yeah, that's really 400. I hope that made sense. Let's write it out. So, I first did 100 times 8, and I got 800. Now I'm doing 50 times 8, and I got 400. Right? Is 50 times 8 really 400? Let's check. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. Yep, sure is. Hey! We can figure it out. You want to take your time with math. Don't have to rush. Now, I'm going to bring down the 6, because I'm subtracting, right? Well, 456 take away 400 is 56. That's easy. Okay, good. Next, we need to look at the last digit here, right? Look at the digit. Here it is. How many times can 8 go into 56? Well, if you know your times tables, you'll know that 7 times 8 is 56. And when we subtract here, we have no remainder. So each person would get 157 pieces of gold, right? That's the basic idea of what you do, right? The number that's being divided is underneath this big bracket. And the number that's doing dividing, we keep it out here in front. And then make sure, when you're looking at it, you break it down into small pieces. Look at the first digits, right? And then bring down your result. Look at the next digits. Bring down your result. See? That'll help you keep it all organized. Right? Good. Okay. If you need help, look at it again. You can watch it again and you can try it again until it makes sense. I want you to understand why every little step we did it. Right? Sometimes in math books, you won't see these zeros written out. They'll just leave them blank just to make it simpler or keep it more organized. Right? But really, when I take 100 and I multiply it by 8, I do get 800. So it makes sense. Let's try another one just for fun. We've got some time. Math is all about concentrating and problem solving. So you have to have both those things. You want to be able to look at it like a puzzle. We're trying to do a puzzle here. The puzzle's just a puzzle with numbers, right? Nothing to be scared of. I bet you can figure it out. Let's try, I don't know, I'll just guess a crazy number. 9,461 divided by, let's try 7. Okay, here we go. I put the number that's being divided underneath the bracket. 9,461. And then I put the number that's doing the dividing out in front. That's a 7. Sometimes you'll see that little mark there for 7. Okay, well, let's break it down. We look at the first digit, 9. Can 9 be divided by 7? What's that? Yes, it can. It can. That's right. 9 is big enough that 7 can go into 9 one time. Where do I put that 1? I put it up top. 1 times 7 is 7. Now look at this place value, 1, 2, 3. That's 1,000, right? I could write out the zeros if I want to. 1,000 times 7 is 7,000, right? Well, let's go ahead and do it, just for fun. I'll erase them in a second. See? Now, when I subtract, what do I get? Well, 9 take away 7 is 2. Right? But I'm going to fill in these spots with the next part, so I don't want to keep those zeros there. It's just to keep track and to show you where we are. That's the hardest part for me for long division, is seeing where you are, not getting lost. Can 7 go into 24? Oh yeah, let's look. 2, no, it's too small. I screwed it over. 24, yes. 7 can go into 24. If you know your times tables, you'll know that 7 times 3 is 21. So where do I put that 3? Follow it up. See the 4 here? Goes all the way up on top. 3 times 7 is 21. And then I subtract. I could put zeros here if I want. But I know that I can bring it down, because 1 take away 0 is 1, 6 take away 0 is 6, 4 take away 1 is 3, and 2 take away 2 is nothing. So I'll leave that blank. Now, we move on to the next place value here. And we look at this. Can 7 go into 3? No. Can 7 go into 36? Yes. You probably remember from the last problem. Oh yeah, that's right. 5. 5 times 7 is 35. There we go. And next, look what we do. We always subtract. Because we're chopping it down. We're dividing it down. Division means to separate or to chop it into pieces. So, 1, keep that down. 6 take away 5 is 1, and 3 take away 3 is nothing. Okay, we've got another space here. Can 7 go into 11? Yes, it can. How many times? 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. And then when I subtract here, I get a remainder. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, I'll put it up here. R. What did you get as a remainder? 11 take away 7. Can you give me the answer? That's 4. A remainder of 4. Now, sometimes you'll see this remainder of 4. That's R4, right? That's okay. But you also can think about it as this 4 could be divided by 7 too. What happens when we take 4 things and divide it among 7 people? If I had 4 pieces of gold and I wanted to give it to 7 friends, I'd have to chop those pieces pretty small, right? How do you do that? My friends, you need fractions. But here's the neat part. Since we're taking 4 divided by 7, all you have to do is say 4 divided by 7. Right? So, what do I really have here? I know that if I take 9,461 and I divide it by 7, I would get 1,351, and then I would take that last 4 bits and divide it among 7 people, and each person would get 4/7 of a bit. Okay, we'll get into fractions next time. Right? So, practice with your long division. There's a couple of ways to do it. You can make up numbers and see what you want to do. If you want to put the remainder there, that's fine, like an R, remainder 4, remainder 1, or whatever it is. Sometimes you don't have a remainder. And if you want to write it as a fraction, where the remainder is the numerator, and the divider here is the denominator, you can do that too. That's even a little bit more fancier mathematics. Yeah. Okay. So, your assignments. Find a number that you want to divide and divide it by another number you want to divide. All right, I'll leave one here on the board for you, and it'll be a homework. And then you can write to me and let me know if you get the answer. Right? We could try it. Let's try... I'll look on a calculator. I love the calculator. It's so fast. Yeah. Here we go. Let's take 7,256 and divide it by 8. All right? I want you to try that long division process, because as we grow in mathematics, we're going to learn new processes. And those processes become really important, because with a process, you can solve all kinds of problems, right? It's kind of like learning how to, fix something. You can learn how to fix things and figure things out. That's what math is all about. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think the answer is right here. All right. Thanks very much, y'all. Okay, take care. Practice and learn your times tables.